Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Our current session presents teacher training, some important aspects. I hope and expect by the end of this session, you would have the knowledge of some important aspects of teacher training. Well, my dear students, one of these aspects is when to train. Well, although ideally it should be conceived of and organized as a seamless continuum, teacher education is often divided into stages. Well, let me elaborate this. Teaching is a profession where a teacher stays for a long time, and the process of teaching or the phenomenon of teaching is a continuous process. It is not something that would happen in stages or that would happen with intervals. So ideally, the training of the teacher should be a continuous process, a seamless process, a process without intervals. However, when we look at the practical situation, almost everywhere across the globe, teacher education is divided into various stages. Well, out of these stages, initial teacher training education is one type. A pre-service course before entering the classroom as a fully responsible teacher is what is termed as initial teacher training or initial teacher education. There is another type or another stage, that is induction stage training or induction stage education. This is the process of providing training and support during the first few years of teaching or the first year in a particular school. So when a new teacher enters into education, for the initial sometime, be it 1 year or a few years, some kind of induction training, induction teacher education is given. The next stage is teacher development or continuing professional development, that is often abbreviated as CPD. This is an in-service process for participating teachers at various levels or at various stages of their professional career. They get this kind of training. Well, when it comes to the curriculum for teacher training, apart from when the teacher training is to be given, this is another aspect that is important. The question of what knowledge, attitudes, behaviors, and skills teachers should possess is the subject of much debate in various cultures. And what is the reason for that? Teachers are entrusted with the transmission of not only knowledge to the learners, but also of the beliefs of the society, of the attitudes of the society, of the whole essence of the society that is to be conveyed, that is to be taught to the learners or to the students through the teachers. So this is a huge responsibility. That is why the teacher training curriculum is a question of importance for a lot of people in the field. Well, generally, teacher education curricula can be broken down again into 4 major areas. The first area is foundational knowledge in education-related aspects of philosophy of education, history of education, educational psychology, and sociology of education. Now, this is not related to one particular field, one particular subject. So for a language teacher, for a history teacher, for a biology teacher, for every teacher, this is the same, because this is mainly about the general aspects that are related to education, its philosophy, its history, etc. The second is skills in assessing students' learning. Assessing the skills of the students or their learning, supporting English language learners using the technology to improve teaching and learning, and also this includes supporting students who have some special needs because of certain disabilities. The third, area is content area and methods, knowledge and skills, often also including ways of teaching and assessing a particular subject. Now, there is increasing debate about this aspect because it is no longer possible to know in advance what kinds of knowledge and skills pupils would need when they enter into adult life. So what kind of, practical knowledge they need, this cannot be determined properly at that stage. Fourthly and finally, I would say the area that is significant is practice at classroom teaching or at some other form of educational practice. Ultimately, the performance of a teacher is what he or she performs in the class. So ideally, there needs to be some practice at the classroom teaching level or at some other kind of forum or in some other form of educational practice where the teacher practically has some practice of and demonstrates how to teach in the classroom. Usually this is considered to be a supervised activity, and it is supported in some way, though always maybe it is not supported. Practice can take the form of field observations, it can be teaching to the students, or it can be some internship.